Hello and welcome to another episode of the Awesome Wristwatch Review channel, and today we have with us a neoclassic Datejust for review. It is the 16234 Datejust with a white gold bezel and a Jubilee bracelet. Now before we delve into the review per se, let's see what a watch of this era comes with. This watch is from 1991, so it will come with this beautiful cardboard oyster outer box and an inner box, or rather the watch case itself, fashioned out of very thick leather in the Rolex green. And the interior of the box is lined with wood with the Rolex namesake and a cushion to emplace your watch. And as with watches of that era, it comes with a Rolex swim-proof tag to indicate that the watch is waterproof or water resistant. Now, the watch also comes with some brochures for you to scan on the operation of the watch and the classic Rolex calendar with the year that the watch was purchased. And as with typical Rolex fashion, a leather pouch to emplace the certificate, as well as a translation for the chronometer certificate, which is in French. Now, in those days, Rolex provides the owner with a hard copy of the Rolex chronometer certificate and guarantee, which is kind of nice if you ask me. It's a little bit of an old world charm that is missing to this day. In this day, I beg your pardon, with the RFID tags. So in this case, the guarantee and chronometer certificate is as such. It shows the jeweler that the watch was purchased from, the date where it was purchased, the serial number, and as you can see, it is still beautifully preserved after all these years. Really something of an old world charm that is, I think, pretty nice. Alright, so this is the package of the watch. Now let's look at the watch itself. Now what we have here is the 16234 model Datejust with a white gold fluted bezel and a Jubilee bracelet and a black dial. In other words, your quintessential Datejust, right? The watch is in 36 millimeters diameter, and because of the fluting of the white gold bezel, it gives the watch a certain gravitas, a certain charm, and it gives the watch a strong presence in the sense that the entire 36 millimeters will be felt because it extends the eyes out to the entire width of the watch. And being from the 1990s era, the watch would be fashioned out of 904L steel, which is a superior steel that costs 2 to 3 times more than the typical 316L steel, thereby rendering the watch extremely corrosion resistant, as such steel is typically used for undersea piling. So you can expect the watch to last a lifetime and more. Now let's talk about the case. The case has strong and long lugs extending outwards, as you can see, and because it is brushed on the surface, it really has a certain strength and emphasizes the size of the watch. And because the end links are sort of semi-integrated into the lugs, it gives the watch a certain pillow-like look, which really emphasizes the size of the watch and makes the watch seem larger than what it is. Right? And this is the typical oyster case, hence it is curved and convex on two planes, the vertical plane and the horizontal plane, thereby giving the watch a very beautiful pebble-like feel to it, or an oyster-like feel to it, if you may. And this version is 1991 version, hence it has got drill lugs for easy removal of the end links. Right. Now let's focus on the dial. The dial is a black lacquered dial in this version, but of course there are various versions you can choose. This is a black lacquered version with a chemin de fer or railroad track on the periphery with small little Roman numerals around the track, which is something of a charm if you ask me. It's beautiful. And the hands and hour markers and the Rolex crown are all fashioned out of white gold, 18 karat white gold. So you can expect the watch to be extremely robust and corrosion resistant for many years to come. Of course, this is a Datejust, so the Cyclops expands, or rather increases the size of the date by 2.5 times. And because the hands and the hour markers are so well polished, it really looks black polished if you ask me, and it looks very beautiful. Now let's look at the end links of the watch and the bracelet. Now the end links of the watch fit tightly between the two lugs, and it is so well fitted, I would say, that there is hardly any movement at all. As you can see, I'm trying to move it and there is no play whatsoever. So this is a testament to the Rolex quality even in the 1990s. But of course it is a hollow end link, but nevertheless a very sturdy one. And the beautiful classic Jubilee bracelet tapers down to the clasp, also fashioned from the 904L steel. And because it is such a good quality steel, as you can see, there is no corrosion and there is really a wonderful shine to it. Right. Of course, the Jubilee bracelet, as you can see, is hollow in the center links, which you can see is visible over in this direction. But once you put the watch on your wrist, it is really not that obvious. Right. And of course, this is the typical Rolex case back, which is solid, a solid case back. Crown wise, it is a large crown with the Rolex hallmark and a line below it, which indicates that this is a twin lock crown with dual protection sealing against water and moisture. Well, there you have it, the beautiful Rolex 16234 Datejust, a neoclassic version that can be had for half the price of a modern iteration. And the movement in this timepiece is the 3135 Rolex movement, which is some consider to be the best movement in the world. Very robust, very strong, and very reliable. Now let's try on the watch on my 6.5-inch wrist to see what it looks like. There you have it. I would say the watch has a very elegant, very classical, and I would say gentlemanly look that really can withstand the test of time. And really, because of the excellent materials, excellent workmanship of the watch, it will be still very contemporary even after decades. Now let's take a look at this watch as compared to a newer iteration of the Datejust. Now this is a 116234 on the right. But as you can see, the design language remains relatively unchanged even after all these years. And a Rolex Datejust, as they say, is a Rolex Datejust, no matter what the lineage or the year of production. Right. Well, there you have it, the 16234 Datejust in all its glory. As always, thank you for watching, and if you do enjoy the content, please do consider subscribing and liking. It really helps us a lot. Here's wishing you good health, happy collecting. Ciao.